Hi, I'm Damona Doy, Extension Economist at Oklahoma State University. In this segment, we want to highlight some things to think about if you're considering investing in a new or different enterprise. Perhaps you're an out-of-the-box thinker, or you've been looking for something that you can't find in the market and are sure there's a golden opportunity just waiting to be snatched up. It can be exciting to imagine doing something unique. I sometimes dream of having acres of flowers, then I think about our hot, dry climate and weeding in the summer. You probably have a much better idea. In this segment, we want to provide a framework for thinking about your alternative from a business perspective, while also recognizing that personal interest and motivations are important. Here's an alternative enterprise for agricultural land, a motocross park. Maybe not agricultural in use, but perhaps it's agritourism. A more common alternative enterprise on agricultural land would be leasing land for wildlife purposes. Still, you can see that a minority of the respondents to a recent rental rate survey were generating income from recreational leases, whether it was deer hunting, quail hunting, feral hogs, doves, or even camping, hiking, and bird watching. Maybe you're thinking of something other than cattle, hogs, broilers, wheat or sorghum, or other major livestock and crop enterprises in Oklahoma. Here's a list of some things that were considered alternative enterprises at one time by the Oklahoma Department of Ag, Food, and Forestry and their Grants and Loans program to encourage market diversification. Tree fruits and pecans, small fruits, vegetables, greenhouse and nursery stock, turf, Christmas trees, aquaculture, goats, other small animals, mung beans, sunflowers, popcorn, native or improved grasses grown for seed production. Perhaps this list triggers some ideas for you. The interest in local foods and unique food experiences has provided opportunities for everything from heritage tomatoes to high-fat bacon. There are also opportunities to add value to traditional commodities, for instance through the Oklahoma Quality Beef Network for weaned calves, or perhaps further processing a fruit or vegetable by making jam or pickles. An alternative enterprise may be something that others have done in the state successfully, but is new to you. Finally, maybe you've grown poultry, but not pastured or free-range poultry, or you've grown corn, but not turned it into a maze which you charge people to wander through. Anything that's new to you deserves some study. There are a variety of online business planning resources that may be helpful. One is the Ag Plan tool developed at University of Minnesota. It includes tips and resources for business planning, sample business plans, plus allows you to share your plan with business partners or reviewers. The Small Business Administration site has a variety of resources related to business planning, structure, licenses and permits, laws, financing, taxes, and employee management. The Ag Risk and Farm Management Library provides a variety of ag-focused publications and presentations from educational institutions and extension experts around the country. You also want to review the segment in this series on business planning. Regardless of the source of inspiration or your level of expertise with respect to an alternative enterprise, it's useful to think about the prospect from different angles before making a long-term investment. A publication developed at the University of Kentucky provides a helpful construct, encouraging thought about the prospective profitability, the resources needed, sources of information, market outlets, the depth of you and perhaps your family's enthusiasm, and potential risk associated with production. I encourage you to download it for further study. Let's start with an overview of profitability. First, let's be clear that profitability and feasibility are two different things. Profitability means the enterprise generates positive returns to the investment in the long run, but it doesn't guarantee that there won't be challenges in financing and keeping the business afloat in the short run. Alternatively, something might cash flow in the short run, but not be profitable in the long run. For instance, if exceptionally good weather yields a bountiful harvest initially. Some important questions to be asked and answered before making an investment include: what will be my total cost and returns in an average year? At what price will this enterprise become unprofitable? What will be the return on my assets? How long will it take for this project to pay for itself? Some of the tools for analyzing profitability and cash flow are described in more detail in other segments of this course, so here I'll simply remind you of them and their different purposes. The common thread is the budget format permits the decision maker to focus on economic logic to answer questions of what, how much, and when resources should be used to achieve goals and objectives efficiently. The whole farm budget is a detailed summary of the major physical and financial features of the entire farm business. Whole farm budgets identify the component parts of the whole farm business and determine the relationships among the different parts, both individually and as a whole. An enterprise budget is a statement of what generally is expected from a set of particular production practices, typically a statement of revenues and the expenses associated with the production of the particular thing, for instance, a wheat crop. It documents both variable and fixed costs and is useful in calculating profitability and break-even values, break-even prices and yields, for example. The partial budget is useful in analyzing the effects of a change from an existing plan. This budget only considers revenue and expense items that will change with a specified change in the plan. So for example, you might use a partial budget in analyzing whether you want to sell stockers in March or save them for graze out purposes. Cash flow budgeting focuses on cash income and expenses, excluding things such as depreciation. It can be very helpful in analyzing financial feasibility. Sensitivity analysis will provide insights into outcomes under different scenarios, both price and yield. Investment analysis will identify things like payback periods and rates of returns on investments. Your resources are the things that you own, have, or control. The alternative enterprise likely will require land or other capital assets, such as machinery or equipment or breeding livestock, plus labor, management, and entrepreneurial skill. You may already own or have some of them. Others may be leased, hired, purchased, or in the case of management and entrepreneurial skill, developed. As you formulate your plan, it's important to think about how to do it effectively and efficiently, keeping cost in mind as well. Perhaps you can barter with a neighbor for occasional use of equipment. If you decide to buy something, will it have multiple uses, or is the value only for a single purpose? Maybe you can conscript children to help with seasonal labor needs, but think about potential bottlenecks and roadblocks and try to anticipate a wide range of things that might limit success. Better to make an investment with your eyes wide open than face a bad surprise. When it comes to information, Google or your preferred search engine is often everyone's first go-to place for information. The internet is a great source of both information and what I'll call disinformation. What you get may be free, but its value may be limited as well. Be careful of your sources. Are they reliable? Consider not only the cost, but weigh whether the information will be research-based and unbiased. University and extension websites are great sources for references that fit these criteria. Government agencies may also have helpful links. My suggestion would be to first look for information from your local extension office and the related websites, including the affiliated university. Depending on the type of alternative enterprise you're considering, any number of other agencies may have useful information. In Oklahoma, the Food and Ag Product Center on OSU's campus provides regular workshops for producers considering all sorts of value-added enterprises, from barbecue sauces to pasta. The Oklahoma Department of Ag, Food, and Forestry has links on their website for items ranging from agricultural laws to water quality and pesticides. Other state agencies, such as Commerce and Health, may be equally important depending on the direction you're headed. More than a dozen career techs have agribusiness specialists who offer classes and provide one-on-one support. Both the Noble Foundation and Kerr Center for Sustainable Agriculture also offer educational programs and online resources on ag topics. The Small Business Administration and Rural Development Centers also have experts to assist in business establishment and innovation. SCORE provides free confidential business education and mentoring. If the alternative enterprise isn't something entirely new, there may be a trade association with information. even if it isn't based in your home state. Certainly, if you have an opportunity to connect with other individuals in the same field, learning from another producer can be invaluable in identifying mistakes to avoid and getting helpful hints. A couple of national websites that can be helpful in analyzing alternative farming systems and ag alternatives include the Alternative Farming Systems Information Center, ATTRA's National Center for Appropriate Technology, the Ag Alternatives website at Penn State, and the Ag Risk Library budget component. I want to point out a couple of references that may be helpful to Oklahoma producers in particular. The OSU budget website provides Excel spreadsheets that can be helpful in developing projections for costs and returns, as well as looking at what-if scenarios. You may want to visit the OSU Fact Sheet site to find and read publications on budgeting or tips for grant and loan proposals. ODAF's Ag Enhancement and Diversification Program provides funds in the form of no-interest loans and grants for farm diversification, marketing and utilization, cooperative marketing, and agricultural events. Be sure to visit their website for details. And of course, contact your local extension office for additional information or if you'd like to have a local program on this topic.